First and foremost, we want to congratulate you on your on your forthcoming 90th birthday.
Thank you very much.
It is not an easy thing, and we thank God for giving you a long life. God will continue to preserve you in Jesus' name.
Amen.
And at your old age, you're going to leave it in good health.
Amen.
Now to the business, sir. How do you feel at 90? How do you feel?
Well, I don't feel different. In fact, most people say that I don't look my age. And that's the grace of God. But being able to live up to 90 is significant for me because my father died at the age of 44. And I kept worrying that maybe I won't live more than 44. I did 44 and did double 44, which is 88. Now I'm going to 90. So it's very meaningful for me.
You're already 90, sir. You're already 90. You said your father died at 44.
Yes.
What happened? And what impact did he have? His death had on you then?
Yeah, very, very serious repercussion. Most young people of my age at that time would want to go to primary school, secondary school, university, etc., etc. Like then, I went to primary school, I took entrance examination to secondary schools, I got admitted, but no funds. If my father had not died, the sky would have been the limit in terms of early education. But God was with me. I finished primary 6. I went to be a pupil teacher. Then,
with primary school certificate?
Sorry?
With primary school certificate?
Yeah. With Sana 6 at that time, you are allowed to be we call them pupil teacher. So, when I was a teacher, I took entrance examination to St. Andrew's College, Oyo, which is a teacher's training institution. That was in 1947 when I took the examination. I got admitted in 1948. And I finished in the college in 1951. So I taught for a number of years, and I was taking correspondence college rapid results. I passed DC, O level, A level. In fact, I have 5 O level, 5 A level. At the time, I applied to University College Ibadan. And I thought of a number of possibilities. I could read economics. I was interested in economics. I could read English. And, well, fortunately, English admitted me in this department. We had to take exam. We took qualifying exam. This is a direct entry.
Qualified exam?
Yeah. Okay. We took qualifying exam before being admitted to honors. So, fortunately, I passed, and I was one of the people admitted to honors English. At the end of that year, some of us who could not make it were even from the asked to go and do general degree. It was very tough in those days.
So what's the difference between the general degree? Because I didn't meet that system. General degree, you said you talk about honor, you talk about general degree. What's the difference there?
Well, the honors degree is you concentrate on most of your courses in only one subject.
Okay.
Like in English, you do all the literature things that you have to do.
Okay.
From Chaucer to modern literature. You do language.
Okay.
And you do institutions.
Okay.
We have to take 9 papers in our final year. But if you do general degree, you do it in 3 subjects.
Okay. Okay. I'm sure you've had, even though it may not be that much, you've had a little bit of interaction with your father before he passed on. Could you recount your experiences with him? And some of the things that you also learned from him?
Yeah, I learned a lot about discipline. My father was a reverend gentleman. So he will have prayers in the morning, prayers in the evening, and with all this kind of discipline, you could not easily escape being what you are. So that's the major thing that I learned from my father.
Discipline.
Yeah.
Was he using cane? Was he using cane on you? Cane. Whenever you do something wrong.
Oh, well, the English expression. Behind the rod and support the child. Fortunately, it's only once in a while. Once in a while. Not much.
Let us talk about your growing up. What can you say about your growing up, sir? Talk about your siblings, your mother. How was the growing up like?
Well, when you live in the household of the reverend, you have many people who are brought into your household. My mother was very, very kind, and she taught us that all children were equal.
Okay.
You can't say you are my biological child. This one is not. So when they give us food to eat, the senior one will take me before me, even though it's not
your biological
child. So that kind of thing was there. And my mother was very, very kind. So.
Okay, sir. I'm interested in. I want you to talk about your siblings. I want you to talk. What's your position in the family? Who are your seniors?
Well, unfortunately, a number of children born before me died.
Okay.
The one that I followed was number 4.
Okay.
But he lived for about 3.5 to 4 years. We were playing together, then he died too. So I then became the eldest surviving child.
The two of you were playing together.
Well, we were playing together, of course,
Okay.
you know.
Okay.
But I was still young.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
One day I didn't see him anymore. I didn't know what happened later. When I grew up, I knew that was what death was.
Oh. Wow. Can we say that there was a problem of this cultural Yoruba belief, this Abiku phenomenon? Can we say that affected your parents? Because if you lost the first one, they lost the second, the third, and even the fourth. So you are
affected them
Yes.
in the sense that when it came to my turn to be born, they decided that I had to be taken to my mother's father's place.
So the grandmother?
Yeah, my grandfather, my maternal grandfather.
Okay.
That was where I was actually born. They said they don't want this one to die.
They were scared.
Of course they were scared.
So they believe in Abiku?
Well, that's what I thought.
Okay.
That they must think that I'm Abiku. But they didn't think I was Abiku, but they were afraid of Abiku.
Okay.
Because Abiku means one goes, another one comes.
Yes.
The one I followed did not go.
Okay.
Until I was born. And I said I was playing with him before he died.
As an enlightened and educated man, do you believe in that phenomenon? The Abiku phenomenon?
Of course not. Of course not. There's not like Abiku. The child we had in those days was not what it should be. You know that when we were born, if we refuse to eat or drink, they will put us on their laps like this and forcibly feed us. Force feeding. That's what the that one is enough to kill anybody who survives.
But sir, there may be a spiritual angle to this. When we're talking about, because of course we're talking about the spiritual aspect, the spiritual angle to what we're talking about. And of course, sir, you also know that when you say in Carl, JP class, they wrote about Abiku. So many people have written poems on and have written about Abiku. So is there a divergence between you and them? Because I believe if they do not believe that there is Abiku, they wouldn't have possibly written about it.
Well, I don't know, but it's a very strong belief among the youth.
Yes, it's a cultural belief, yes.
And not only that they believe that they see physical signs.
Yes.
For example, a child who is thought to be Abiku, it may be one finger that is missing. Because they cut the finger of the dead one before being buried. And they said that's the one that came back. So.
But for you, it doesn't exist.
Well, I don't believe it.
Okay. Let's quickly go to. Yes, before then, when you were younger, was there any naughty thing that you did that you can recollect? As a child, was there any naughty thing, funny thing that you can recollect that you did then? Some funny, some pranks, maybe at home, maybe in school.
Of course, all children did all this is now pranks. But one I remember is behaving like a traffic warden.
Okay.
And I would stand stop. I imagine myself as someone who was in control. Not that I thought I would be a policeman, but being able to control things. That's what I think.
Okay. You said you could have read economics. Did you pass mathematics because you read English? You're a professor of linguistics. Did you pass maths at O level? Mathematics, yes, maths.
O level?
Yes, sir.
Of course I did.
Oh, what grade did you have, sir? Sir?
Sorry?
What grade do you have in mathematics at the O level?
Well, I don't remember the thing, but in my days, it was not just quizzes, it was figures.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why I had is that, of course, it is believed that if you study any course in faculty of arts, you are not good in mathematics. And that was why I asked whether you
passed mathematics. I did English.
Okay.
I did Latin.
Oh wow. So it wasn't because you did not know mathematics that you.
No.
opted out for English or linguistics.
Far from it.
So on that, what is your advice for this generation when it comes to, because you see many people, they run away from good courses, let me put it that way, because they feel that they cannot know mathematics.
Well, I can only see that as inferiority complex.
Okay.
Because the reason they insist on mathematics in the sciences is that you need it. A lot of statistics, the same thing in social sciences. You don't need to quantify a lot if you are reading history. And to some extent, like religious studies. In linguistics, where I am a professor, we do need some of it. Quantitative linguistics. Yeah. And it will be useful if you have mathematics. But if we insist on it, that they must have O-level maths before coming in, we are going to have a problem.
Okay.
Because linguistics is not a school subject. You only learn it when you get to university. So few people can. When we then say they must have mathematics, maybe nobody will come.
Thank you very much, sir. Sir, let's also look at your. I want you to tell us about your schooling. At what age did you start the primary school? Then the schools that you attended.
Well, I first got to primary school, Bethlehem African School, that's where I was born, in 1996. And I was born in 1932. That's 4 years. When I got there, they said I should put my head to reach my ear. It didn't reach anything. So go back.
So they sent you back.
So, but my father was the manager.
Okay.
The reverend. So they said, okay, let him sit at the back.
Oh.
You will not be a student and I will not register. Okay. But I was sitting at the back and
listening and
watching
what was
going on. The following year, I became proper student. Then I
at age 5.
So, went on standard 1, standard 2, standard 4. The school I attended ended at standard 4.
Okay.
So, I had to go to the grammar school in Shore.
Okay.
Which is the sort of central school for all of us from the area.
Okay.
So that went to standard 6.
Okay.
So that's that.
So you did your
then after that, as I told you, I went to be a teacher. I went to St. Andrew's College in 1948 or 1951.
Okay.
Then I go to University College in Badon.
So secondary school is missing there.
Sorry?
Secondary school is missing there. Secondary school after the standard 6. You have not talked about secondary school.
Yeah, well, that's what I explained to you.
Okay.
That I took entrance examination to secondary school.
Okay.
I was admitted to Ijebu Grammar School.
Okay.
But because my father had died,
I
had nobody to sponsor me.
Okay.
So I went to St. Andrew's College.
Okay.
St. Andrew's College is a teacher's institution.
Okay.
It is the equivalent or even more than a secondary school.
Okay.
Because when you end there with a breakthrough certificate as a teacher, you can then do anything. So I took GC, O-level, A-level, on the basis of which I got admitted to the university.
All right, sir. Okay, sir.
So, a college for teachers, secondary school, they're like similar things.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. yourself that you are a pupil teacher, that says that means that will be your first job on earth, the first job that you
Yeah.
How much were you paid then?
The pay?
Yes, sir.
£1.
Yeah.
£1 a month.
So how did you manage with that?
20 shillings. How did I manage?
Yes, sir, with that.
My mother was subsidizing me.
Okay. Okay. Now she was a widow now. Then we're talking about then. What was she doing to raise money to look after her children?
What?
Your mommy. After the death of your father? What was your mommy doing to make money for her to look after the children?
Yeah, she did a lot. She was selling things. She had a shop at Badly.
In Ibadan?
Yeah, right. She was at Alekusha.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the kind of thing she was doing.
What exactly did she sell? What exactly did she sell?
Well, kitchenware, the plates and things like that. And pork, rice, pork. Yeah, that kind of thing.
Okay. And was there any time that you had to go to shop to assist her?
No, because I was already
jumping over. Okay. Yes, before you died, you decided to stay. And what about your younger ones, sir?
my siblings.
Your siblings, your younger, yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah, they also went to different schools. My brother, he went, got his it was not university, but he then went and got a job in the Ministry of Culture in Lagos. Yeah, my sister was a graduate of IFE. Yeah.
Okay. So you are three. Oh.
Well, three at that time.
Okay.
Because we had lost my brother, the youngest one. He died.
Oh, okay.
So there were three of us.
Okay.
And my sister also died about 4 years ago.
Okay.
So we only two left.
Oh. Sorry to ask this, sir. But they had children before they died. I just want to know whether they didn't die young. Whether they didn't die young, your younger siblings. I want to find out whether they got married, they had children before they died.
Of course.
Okay.
Of course. They did. They did.
Because I'm trying to reconcile that with the Aduku phenomenon. That maybe they decided to.
The Aduku did not affect me.
Okay. And it didn't affect the younger one. Sir, if you had not been a teacher, if you have not gone into academics, what other profession do you think you have loved to do?
Law.
Okay. Why?
When I was a teacher at Ilaro, my great interest was going to courts to see how lawyers perform. I put it to you. The thing impressed me so much.
The arrogance.
And later, when I saw Rotimi Williams, the way he was doing in court,
Again.
I imagined myself being a lawyer, really patient, talking to the judge, my lord, if you look at so, this year, so. I mean, there's something about being an advocate, not a solicitor. new to me. In fact, I bought books of law. And I would have done it if there was a scholarship for it. There was no scholarship.
So it is correct to say that Fund aborted that dream. Is it correct to say that?
The what?
Is it correct to say that scarcity of funds, aborted that dream? That because you did not have money, that was okay.
Of course. If there was money, I would have gone to do law.
Okay.
But let me tell you this.
Yes, sir.
I don't regret doing linguistics.
Yes, sir.
Because it then turned out that I was the first person to do linguistics in Nigeria.
Wow.
In fact, the first African professor of linguistics.
That is great.
Yeah.
That is great.
So now there are many lawyers. How many can be first? So that's a big plus for me.
In that way, I think it's also correct to say that you are the father of all the linguists today in Africa.
Yeah.
And there's a particular professor that referred to you as the dean of.
Yes.
And when I saw it, I was wondering which university is that faculty domiciled?
The man who said that is Professor Eyanga Bokamba.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He was the one who referred to me as Brian. He and I taught in University of Illinois.
Sir, I want you to recount some of your defining moments. Defining moments. Can you remember some? What are your defining moments? What are some special moments for you that you can't forget?
Well, the one I would think of is the day I became professor. Because I came in as a lecturer grade 2 in 1963. In 1964, I became lecturer 1. In 1966, I became senior lecturer. In 1968, I became professor. It was rare to go through in 5 years. The day I became professor, I was not even I was not in the house. I was out. Before I came back, people had descended the house and they said, where's chicken, where's something? They said, and they started calling me professor. I didn't react. When you call me professor, it was strange. So I think that's a defining moment for me.
I would like to touch your love life. Your love life. Your love life.
Well, I don't want to go too much into that. Because I went to St. Andrew's College, where we have strict rules about you are not to have anything to do with any woman.
Okay.
So when I came out, I didn't have much by way of experience until the person who later became my wife came to work in the same school as me. So
that is St. Andrew.
No.
Okay.
At Ilaro.
Okay.
When I was working there, she also came as a teacher.
Okay. Which school, sir?
Yeah.
Which school? Which school? Which school? The school you were teaching at
Christ Church School.
Christ Church School. Okay. Ilaro. Okay, sir. Okay.
It's an Anglican school.
Okay, sir.
She also came as a teacher. I was senior to her.
Okay.
So we met there.
Okay. about her? What was the point of attraction?
Well, that's not something that you can define. But you know you are together. You find that you agree in the way you look at things. That's it.
So you never had any lady apart from her?
I don't want to go into that.
Okay. All right. Okay, sir. Let us talk about the relationship between you and Professor Ayobanjo. When did it start? How did you meet? How did you develop, the two of you develop that relationship to what it is today?
Well,
to the extent that they call you twin brothers.
I said I started in 1963. Osabanjo went and was an education officer. Later he joined Department of English. At that time, all the teachers, both in English and in my department, linguistics, were white.
Okay.
Later, another young man joined my department, Bernard McFadden. So, we were three. We were the only three black people in the two departments. So, we usually work together. We would go to the conference, we go together. If there's a social thing, we will go together, three of us. Not just us, but our wives, and so on. That was the first part. The second part was that Harold Whitehall, professor of English, American in Department of English, he supervised Osabanjo because he did PhD of Ibadan. And when he was to be examined, I was his external examiner.
Professor Banjo.
Yeah. As Dr. Bamgbose, I was his external examiner.
Okay.
No, internal examiner, not external.
Okay.
Internal. So, then, beyond that, we then, family-wise, became very, very close. So, he then became vice chancellor. And I have a policy not to go to people who are in high positions because they think you are seeking for even though we were close. But what he did was really amazing. He will come to one house's house regularly. We will talk. If he wanted me to come, he will say so, and I will go to the lodge and we will talk. So that continued to go to the same chapel and we always talk. So people say, what are these people talking about?
Okay.
So we are not just friends, but we are like brothers now.
That is very interesting because I may not remember very well, but I remember there was a particular story I did where I had to mention the two of you, and I said that one will keep wondering what is between this man and this man because we were sitting there, so I took the picture to illustrate that. Now what is exactly? I mean, the two of you are male. You are not. There is no female and male. So why? I mean, and you are not of the same family, and I mean, hardly anybody can. Anybody, will identify or know.
And we're not gay.
And you're not gay. Yeah, but that's very interesting. It shows that you have the same ideology.
Actually, one thing that many people don't know is that if there's an issue and you go to Osabanjo to seek his opinion, he tells you. Then you come to me and seek my opinion. And I tell you almost exactly the same thing.
Oh.
And they say, that's what Osabanjo said.
So me.
So the way is that it's a matter of principle. We share principle.
Maybe the two of you should have been born by the same parents. I said maybe the two of you should have been born by the same parents.
I don't think so.
Okay.
His father was my principal when I was teaching at St. Louis College.
Bekuta.
St. Louis College here.
Oh, okay.
Ibadan.
Okay.
Modern.
Okay.
I taught there as a tutor. And Ajiki Banjo was the kind of Banjo was my principal. I was a tutor in the college. So I keep saying that my connection with the Banjo family it went even before Ayo Banjo.
That's very interesting. So let us look at this Nigerian language policy. What is your view on it? And again, why is it that it is so difficult for Nigeria to come up with national language or languages?
Well, the main thing is that people misunderstand the concept of a national language. In a situation like Nigeria, where you have well over 400 languages, it's going to be difficult to pick just one. And what we have advocated is to say, okay, which are the major languages? And obviously, Hausa, Yoruba, Igbo stand out. Okay, why don't we develop this thing and ask everybody to learn one other than the one they have?
Okay.
That in the end, one will spread more, and you can use the three and make it one with it, but really it doesn't matter. Switzerland has it. So that's it.
Even South Africa has more than one. And many other countries too.
They have 11.
Canada has two. So why can't we have, even if it means starting with three, why can't we?
We can, but politics.
Politics, sir. That's a dangerous angle to that, because if there's anything that has been affecting the development of Nigeria, it's politics. Now the question is this: with the configuration now, do you subscribe to the fact that there should be a redefinition of what Nigeria is? We've never gotten it right.
Well, I don't see a future unless we retrace our steps and strengthen the component parts of Nigeria.
Sir, that is what you just said is quite sensitive. I want you to expatiate, sir, because this is very important. nobody can claim to be enjoying Nigeria.
Fortunately, I was already born when we had Western region. I know Awolowo. I've been to his house. I've spoken with him. When he was released from prison, I went to visit him with some people. So, the miracle that he performed in Western region would not have been possible if we had a system in which everything came from Abuja. It's obvious. That's what we need. People are talking of zones, whatever, whether 6 or 4, whatever. That's the way to go.
Zones, regions, regional government.
All is anything.
Anyhow, okay?
The idea of going back in hand to Abuja every month to share nonsense is ridiculous.
Sir, I don't know, because what you have just said, for me, looking at what is happening now, looks like something that is not possible. For instance, now 2023 is around the corner, and I think that we should be talking about. Nobody should really be bothered about, contesting or not. We should be talking about way forward. Let us get certain things right. Nobody is doing that. For instance, I'm sorry, I won't mention it, but we have seen politicians now coming up. They want to operate, they will of course use the same constitution, that the defective constitution that we've been using, which is not an inclusive constitution. They will continue with the same thing, which will make things very difficult. And of course, when we also look at it, you see the agitation, it has to be Yoruba. What will Yoruba do with this present constitution?
Anybody who gets there now will continue with his power. Aso Rock is a powerful thing. They will not change anything. So, and as for Yoruba Parapon,
okay, sir.
I'm not one of those.
Sorry, sir.
I'm not. I think it's more important to focus on the southwest, for what we can do in terms of restructuring.
Sir, Bola Tinubu, when he was in Lagos State, tried something that federal government did not allow it to work. Even though, well, one may say that it is working. He created local government. Up to today, it is never recognized by the constitution. The government of the West now, they created Amotekun to take care of the mess, the insecurity. It is not working. What can the Southwest do when the federal power will not allow them to do anything, to do something reasonable?
The answer is nothing. And yet, up there in the north, there are vigilantes, yes. There are groups that can recognize some of them are even armed. Yes. Nobody is touching them. Well, Nigeria is, I don't know.
Yes, that's what it is.
I just feel that what is happening is unfair. You use one measure for one area, use another measure for another. Amotekun is one of the best initiatives that we have ever experienced. And yet, the then Inspector General of Police tried to kill it. Unfortunately, it survived. And the only reason is this way is that Amotekun will call the people who are coming to terrorize us. We don't want that to happen. I'm not interested in politics.
No, sir. It's not about being interested.
I'm not a member of any party.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I mean, but this is a country. Yes, sir.
What is good for the country? What is good for our area?
for instance, there are so many ways, many things have been affected. Let's look at let us look at university, sir. University has been talking about autonomy. It is believed, or possibly on paper, that the university has autonomy. But you find out that the more the university lecturers or the university authority, the more they are trying to ensure to protect their autonomy, the more the federal government is circumventing it. Let me give you an example, sir. I just heard, I have not confirmed, but I know that it is true, that the federal government is now proposing to be recruiting lecturers for the university. And I also heard, how far it is true, I wouldn't know, but I also heard that the politicians are even sharing allocations. That is, okay, somebody will just come and say, just come to University of Ibadan from, with a letter that I'm asked to report here. But I learned it is already happening. I learned, somebody told me, although it has not happened in US, but somebody told me that there is a directive from the federal government concerning that. And I see that a dangerous
I think you must check before you propagate it. Because we have procedures for appointment. Don't you know that?
Yes, I know, sir.
Huh?
I know, sir.
So how will someone get appointed? He doesn't go through appointments and promotions committee. The vice chancellor is the only person that can make temporary appointment, and only for 1 year. It must go to a committee for ratification later. So I don't know how.
If you find out, sir, tomorrow that this information is real, what will be your reaction?
Well, I will simply say we should kill the universities. That's all. The universities will be killed.
Sir, let us also talk, before we leave the university, let us also
talk so much.
Okay. Maybe a few minutes we will be over. Sorry. I don't need to.
No. I just think that we should stop.
Oh.
That's all.
Okay.
I thought that this was last.
Okay. Okay. Let me just maybe 5 minutes. Okay. So I want you to describe. I want to talk about the state of education now.
About
state of education in Nigeria. State of education.
Well, the common saying is to say that education has fallen. That's the common saying.
Okay.
But the real problem is that quite a number of people who have now been enrolled in education who had no access before. So we have to take that into consideration.
Okay.
But I think the major thing is we need qualified teachers. We don't have enough. Because if we do, it will affect the standard of education. A situation in which you have people taking the same exam and require that some must have 60% before going in, others can have 10%. Obviously, that's nonsensical. What program do you expect from that? Nothing.
Okay. 2 questions we have over. This interview is over. I want you to talk about what gives you most about this generation. What grieves you most about this? What grieves you? Grief. What grieves? What makes you unhappy about this generation?
Well, what makes me unhappy is the crazy idea for wealth. soon as I can make money, it doesn't matter. And it affects everything. When my children were younger, we used to have debates, and they say, people can make it. Abiola is rich. He didn't go to university. So, and I said, and look at how many people are similarly rich. So, the idea that it doesn't really matter. What matters is how you make money. I never knew that people, artists who sing, or those who are in Hollywood, have so much money. I never knew.
They are billionaires.
Until one man donated so much. Whiskey or whatever they call it. And many people have copied that. That's for them, that's the model they should follow. What do they do with that programs? Maybe Nigeria. You go there, you come back with millions. And now the thing has even gone into another dimension. The Yahoo boys.
Yahoo Plus.
Making money. Now that makes me very sad. When I was young, the ambition was read, get yourself education, and be able to go on. Not this.
On the last note, sir, what is your advice for your junior colleagues in the academics? That's number one. Number two, I want you to briefly share your experience as a lecturer during the military era.
Well, my advice to academics is to really return to the job of teaching and research. Because when I was in the system, you will find many of us at 10 p.m. in the faculty. We were doing our work. Today, you find many academics going around teaching several universities, especially private ones, and devoting not much attention to their work. A lot of, I don't know whether you call it consultancy that will bring money from outside. I think it's important to return to the main thing, the core of academic work. As for that one. As for the experience under the military, very sad. Very, very sad. Because you said you read my book.
Yes, I did.
We were almost sacked at that time because of the invasion of military. So, and I think the military influence is still there, even now.
Thank you very much, sir. We really appreciate you, and God will continue to be with you in Jesus' name. Thank you for the time given unto us. We appreciate it.